Aurora James founded the 15% Pledge 1 year ago. It started as an Instagram post asking major companies to step up and commit to giving Black-owned businesses a minimum of 15% of their shelf space, a symbolic number based on the percentage of Black Americans. But this nonprofit organization is about going beyond the symbols and getting companies to sign contracts. Over the past year, more than 24 have signed on, including 3 specifically in Canada, where the call focuses on businesses owned by people who are Black, Indigenous, and of color. And so for more on the 15% Pledge, 1 year later, Aurora James joins us from Los Angeles. So thank you, Aurora, for being with us tonight. And I'm curious, can you put me into where your mind was a year ago this week versus how you're feeling right now?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on today. I can just tell you that a year ago was bleak for all of us, of course, given what was going on with the pandemic, but especially for Black Americans and BIPOC people in general. You know, I personally was seeing all of these emails and messages on social media from these major retailers that were saying, you know, I stand with you, I support Black Lives Matter. And while I was reading it, I wasn't necessarily feeling it. And so I really needed to ask myself as, you know, a Black woman, as an entrepreneur, as a Canadian living in America, what would it really take for these major retailers to actually stand with me and really make sure that they are spending real dollars with Black businesses who can then in turn support Black workers and support Black communities?
So what was the response so far? What would you say the reaction has been?
So I have to tell you, I mean, it's been pretty incredible, and it has now been 1 year and 2 days. We've announced 25 major retailers across the United States and Canada. And through that work, which by the way are all contracts that these retailers sign with us, we are ensuring that now over $10 billion a year is going to be going to Black and BIPOC owned businesses across North America just by our pledge takers.
Can you walk us through what exactly are the companies doing and tangibly what is that accomplishing?
So let's take Sephora Canada, for example. Sephora Canada has committed to stocking 25% of their shelf space with BIPOC-owned businesses. So what does that mean? That means that they're going to be working for the next several years, because this takes time, to actually seek out BIPOC-owned businesses across Canada and the US and get those businesses onto their shelf space so that you and I as consumers can then get them into our own shelf spaces at home. Oftentimes, you know, we hear these major retailers talk about, you know, female-owned businesses or Black-owned businesses or BIPOC-owned businesses being underrepresented. And really what we talk about at the Pledge is if you look at Indigenously owned businesses, for example, not only are they underrepresented, they've actually been historically excluded. And so by doing this work, by these retailers committing to the 15% pledge, they are becoming really active to make sure that they are seeking out these entrepreneurs and making real investments in their businesses growing and making sure that their consumers have a broader access to a whole slew of products that we've never been able to find before.
Are you having some uncomfortable conversations with retailers, though?
You know, there's a lot of retailers that don't understand why this is important, or, you know, really feel like, you know, well, you know, they'll say, we don't have that many Black customers in order to buy that many products from Black-owned businesses. And, you know, as someone who's been an entrepreneur myself making products for the past 10 years, I always tell them, you know, it's not only Black people that buy products from Black people. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of learning that's happened along the way, and it's been a huge amount of emotional capital that I've had to expend over the past 12 months.
All right, Aurora James, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.